Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see, I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the EFE Rail Beattie well tank. So getting straight into it, there is this protective layer of foam which I'm going to take off. Should have protected the Loco quite well, that. And you can see the Loco behind there, and there is fire irons and things like that. I assume that you can fit them on the Loco. They're probably only plastic, but they'll look good when it's running. So there you go, you can see it there. It's very well protected by all this foam. So yeah, let's get it on. So I've now removed the outer sleeve, which has given me much better access to the Loco, and you can see it 10 times better. So just have a quick look at the detail pack. You can see the NEM couplings comes with two there. They're not pre-fitted, so that allows you to put all the accessories on and things like that. Brake pipes, and it does look like there are chain link couplings or the remote parts of, which is always good. Allows for more realistic looking. So I've just noticed as well there is foam there and there, which is always good because that means the Loco has been well protected in packaging, and I believe it shows because nothing is dropping off. So let's have a closer look. So having an up close view of the Loco, you can see how many little details there are. Most of them are moulded, but because they're so well painted, they really do stand out and they do the job. Now if we have a look at the livery itself, I cannot see any flaws of it. It's been really well applied everywhere. You can see the running number 3298 there. It's also on the back as well. I think all the buffers are separately fitted. Unfortunately, they're not sprung, but I don't think the real one had sprung buffers, but I can be corrected on that. Everything has been beautifully applied. If you even come down here and look at all the springs, I can't see any flaws of anything. It's been very well put together. The packaging has done its job. Nothing has come off. You can come down here, you can see the front there. Everything has been really well applied, and I think they've done a good job. Just having a quick look in the cab, you can't really see it. It's quite an enclosed cab, but you can see that the regulator has been picked out in a nice red, and the handbrake has as well. There are a few little painted details in there, but you can't really see them. So, especially when it's running, they don't need to be painted, but it's a nice touch. Having a look at body removal, there are two very similar ways that you can remove the body. One of them is to unscrew the NEM pocket, and underneath it will reveal the body screw, or you can quite simply move the coupling to one side and you will be able to see the screw. And then it just says you can prise the body off. That is what the instructions say, so I guess that's how they want you to do it. Okay, so it is down on the track. I'm going to apply some power and we'll see what happens. I'm going to turn it up slowly. I can hear some buzzing. There you go. In fact, that's very smooth. I'm just going to run it up and down this bit of track. That looks very smooth, and this is before running in, and the instructions do recommend running in. Gonna bring it slowly onto camera. Does look like there's a tight spot in the motor, but that should hopefully disappear after running in. It can do, that is moving very slightly. It can do an amazing crawl, which is impressive. It doesn't have the biggest wheelbase, so points might be a slight issue. But hopefully there should be pickups on all 6 wheels. So I'm going to get into running in and we'll see if it's improved after. Here it is running at 50% speed, which is what it recommends for running in. And I think that's a fairly decent speed. Not too quick, it's not too slow. So far it's just completed its first lap. It seems to be going okay. The LSWR 0298 class Beattie well tank was originally built between 1863 and 1875 for use on passenger services in the suburbs of London. Joseph Hamilton Beattie, the LSWR mechanical engineer, prepared a standard design of 2-4-row well tank, and the LSWR began to take delivery of these in 1863. The new design eventually totaled of 85 locomotives, and most came from the Manchester firm of Bayer, Peacock and Company between 1863 and 1875. But 3 were built in the LSWR workshops at 9 Elms during 1872. From 1890, when newer locomotives became available for London suburban services, the Beattie 2-4-row well tanks were sent to depots outside the London area. Some of their new duties required a greater water capacity than the tanks could contain, and so 31 were converted to tender engines between 1883 and 1887. These were withdrawn between 1888 and 1898. Of the remainder, most were withdrawn between 1888 and 1899, but 6 were modernised between 1889 and 1894 for use on branch lines such as those to Exmouth and Sidmouth. 3 of these were withdrawn between 1896 and 1898. The other 3 locomotives, numbers 298, 314 and 329, were transferred to the Bodmin and Weybridge Railway in 1895, which was one of the earliest railways in Cornwall and isolated from the main network until later that year. These 3 remained in service because of the sharp curves and the railway's freight to Wentford Bridge, which carried China clay traffic to the main line. They were finally withdrawn in 1962 and replaced by the GWR 1366 Class 060s. 2 of the locomotives have been preserved, number 298, which was later renumbered to 30587, and owned by the National Railway Museum, which is loaned to the Bodmin and Wentford Railway, where it used to run in service. So that brings running into a close. It ran perfectly, didn't stop, didn't stutter, didn't anything, had no trouble with points, express points, nothing, wasn't a problem. So let's hook it up to a load and see what it does. Just before I put the load on, I'll show you the crawl after running in. I think it has improved massively. Let me get it right, there you go. As you can see, that is crawling really smoothly. It's slightly cogging, let me just speed it up a little bit. But overall, at that speed, that is a really smooth crawl. So, overall, this is a wonderful little model. Everything on it is just right. If you were to look at it, everything that's been painted stands out how it should. All the detail has been nicely applied. Everything that has been separately fitted has been separately fitted properly. There's no glue marks, there's no nothing. Everything is just right about it. If I did have one small complaint though, it would be the pulling power, because it just isn't the strongest of locos, but then again, it is small. And I believe though that it could be corrected by having more weight in it, because it is fairly light. But other than that, it's a good loco. Everything about it is amazing. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.